Welcome to Chapter 2, Day 2, 2.2, Multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. Here are learning targets for today. I can multiply numbers by 10, 100, or 1,000 using patterns. I can multiply numbers up to 4-digit by multiples of 10, 100, or 1,000. I can use rounding to estimate products, and I can define and identify products and factors. So in your head right now, give yourself a fist of 4. Where are you on each of these skills? So first, we are going to look at this anchor task to get our brains warmed up. A machine can produce 212 bottle caps in 1 minute. Estimate the number of bottle caps it can produce in 3/4 of an hour working nonstop. Well, the first thing I want to do is notice that it says estimate. So I'm going to underline that word because it's really important. That's going to let me know that they don't want me to do an operation with the actual numbers, that I should round the numbers to the largest place value to help me do it more easily. So we know it can produce 212 bottle caps in 1 minute, and I would round 212 to the nearest 100. The 1 tells the 2 to stay. 212 rounds to 200, and that's how much it can do in 1 minute. But they want me to think about how much it can do in 3/4 of an hour. Well, how many minutes is in 3/4 of an hour? Technically, that's 45 minutes. And since I'm estimating, I'm going to round this to its greatest place value, which is the tens place. The 5 tells the 4 to go up, so 45 rounds to 50. So now that I have my rounded numbers, now I can figure out how I should estimate. What operation should I do? I think it's multiplication, because if it can do 212 in 1 minute, they want to know how many it can do in all of the 45 minutes, the 3/4 of an hour. So I'm going to multiply 200 times 50. And when I have numbers like this that are getting pretty large, what I love to do, especially with zeros, I'll pretend the zeros aren't there at first to make it super easy to multiply. So I'm just going to multiply 2 times 5. Which is 10. But now I have to put back the zeros that I took out. And there were 1, 2, 3 zeros, so I need to add in 3 more zeros. So the machine can produce 10,000 bottle caps. Always need to write my units in 3/4 of an hour. Awesome. So I'm going to show you some numbers, and I'm going to ask you what patterns you notice. So here we have 9 times 10 equals 90. 95 times 10 equals 950, 186 times 10 is 1,860, 2,245 times 10 is 22,450. What pattern do you notice? What if I show you these equations? 9 times 100 is 900, 95 times 100 is 9,500, 186 times 100 is 18,600, and 2,245 times 100 is 224,500. Are you noticing a pattern? How about now? 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. 95 times 1,000 is 95,000. 186 times 1,000 is 186,000. 2,245 times 1,000 is 2,245,000. We're going to talk about that pattern, so keep it with you. We're going to talk about it later. How can we break apart factors of 10, 100, or 1,000 to help us multiply? Well, let's look. The first problem, we have 42 times 60. What we can see is they actually broke apart 60 into 6 times 10. Fascinating. That maybe made our life a little bit easier. So what I might do is first multiply 42 times 6, which would be 252, then multiply it times 10, and now it's super easy because we know that when we're multiplying times 10, what do? We just add a 0. Let's look at our next one, 65 times 70. Well, the 65 stayed the same. That means they broke apart the 70 into 2 numbers, something times 10. Well, it was 70, so that means it was 7 times 10. Now we're breaking this apart to help us do the multiplication even more easily. So 65 times 7, well, let's see, that would be 35. This would be 245, and look at that. Now doing this times 10, so much easier. All right, let's look at this last one. 247 times 50. Whew. Well, the 247 stayed the same, so that means we're going to be breaking 50 apart into 5 times 10. We'll do the 247 times 5 first. That would be 35. We carry the 3. We get 23. We carry the 2. We get 1,235 times 10. It's super easy now. You get the idea. We could do the same thing with factors of 100. So 72 times 400, we can break up that 400 into 4 times 100. Now this just made it so much easier. 72 times 4, 288 times 100. Well, now we just add the 2 zeros. And we get 28,800. And we can even do the same thing with thousands. So let's do this one down here. 905 times 8,000. Well, we can break up the 8,000 into 8 and 1,000. And now we just have to do 905 times 8, which would be 40. 7,240 times 1,000. Woo! We need to add 3 zeros to that number. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. 7,240,000. So we can break apart factors of 10, 100, and 1,000 to help us multiply really easily. And last but not least, we are going to round factors to the nearest 10 or 100 to estimate their products and make it super easy. This is like what we did in the anchor task. Let's do the green one. A rectangular field measures 1,238 meters by 56 meters. Estimate the area. Well, area, I'll write it over here. Area is equal to length times width. Here's my length, here's my width. So instead of multiplying the actual numbers, it's asking us to estimate. So I'm going to round each number to its greatest place value to make this super, super simple. So what does the 2 tell the 1 to do? Stay right where it is. What does the 6 tell the 5 to do? Go up. So this equation is actually going to be 1,000 times 60. Remember my strategy from before? I get rid of the zeros to make it super easy. I multiply my whole numbers first that are not zeros. 1 times 6 is 6, but now I have to add back in all the zeros I crossed out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros I need to add back in. So the estimated area of the field is 60,000. 60,000 what? Meters squared. Reassess yourself right now on your learning targets. How do you feel on each of these skills?